Okay, that's fine. Not going to do a poll. Guys, let's first of all, before we look at our business, let's look at our Listerine Springbok rugby team that made us proud this past weekend in Argentina, and there they are holding up the Freedom Cup, and that's a beautiful thing. Now, we know that as a rugby team, for our Springbok rugby team, what is their big goal this year? This year in 2023, their big goal, what they are building up, is to be the world champs again in the 2023 Rugby World Cup. Isn't that so? They are on this journey. They are preparing well, and they all have this one big goal in mind and ahead of them. The whole team, obviously the coaching staff, the whole of South Africa, we're all behind them because we want our Springbok team to be world champs. And so it was with our netball team in the netball World Cup. And so that's the goal. And we're talking about goal setting today. And obviously also for you in your real estate business, goal setting and having a clear goal and goals in your business is critically important. Now, if we continue to look at strategy, which is another element, another very, very important critical element in our endeavor of conducting our business in the very best manner, but staying with our Springbok rugby team, strategy is critically important. They can never achieve that goal if they don't have the right strategies in place. Would you agree? That I'm sure that we will all agree that strategy is critically important. And what are those, just very in broad strokes, the strategies that would apply to a rugby team and the whole rugby outfit? Obviously, they all have to have a clear why. Why are they doing what they're doing? You know, why are they on the field? What is their purpose in this whole journey? And everyone has to be on the same page around their why. They have to feed the culture and the morale in the team, the strategies around that to make sure that the culture and the morale is healthy. They have to make sure that they take the best squad to the World Cup, the best squad of 30-odd players that are all really in form and playing their best rugby. That is another strategy. The training and their skills that they have to employ on the field to be the best. That is another part of strategy. They have to be perfectly conditioned to be the best that they can be. They have to have clear game plans. I'm sure that you'll agree. And the whole of the support team has to be the right people. They have to have the right, everything just has to be in place so that the strategy around the team to be able to achieve the goal of being the world champs is in place. Now that brings us to the game plans. Would you agree that the team can only win on the day if they are clear around the game plans? And I think a few questions that might come to mind when we look at a rugby team or a sports team is they would be asking themselves, who are they going to play against? How are they going to approach this game? With which players are they going to play to give them the best chance against the opponents? And they have to be very tactical. So everything around game plan is just so important for that rugby team to stand the very best chance to win on the day. So all of these things that we are looking at, that we've just considered, all of these things are in the control of that rugby team. They have to execute on these things. They cannot control what the other team is doing. They cannot control the weather on the day. They cannot control any of the conditions. They can only take control of what they can only do what they have control over. You will agree with that. Now, we all know, and this applies so well to that rugby team, but this applies very well to our business and any business. I mean, can you think if you don't have a goal, or let's just say having a goal without a plan is just a dream. If that rugby team have the goal of being the world champions in 2023, but they don't have a plan, that goal will just remain a dream, isn't that so? So planning and strategizing with goal setting, all of those things that fit together are critical elements in the success of a sports team, a business, your business, and any form of entrepreneurship. And it requires leadership. And that is where we're going to speak today about you and your business, you and your real estate business. As you are listening today, you might be a real estate consultant, a sales agent, a rental agent. You might be an administrator. You might be a business owner. You and your business, it speaks about taking ownership of your business. But let me just ask you, first of all, if you consider your business right now, as we are sitting here on this Tuesday morning on the 8th of August, where are you in your business right now? And as specifically speaking around strategy, planning, goal setting, how have you been doing? You're welcome to post anything in the chat window. If you would rate yourself above an 8 out of 10, you're welcome to post that. If you think that you sit somewhere around a 5 or a 6 or maybe a 7 out of 10, then you can share that with us. Or if you think that you're below 5 out of 10, around approaching your business with strategy, with clear goals, with clear plans, then you're also welcome to share that with us. But on the picture, we can see that this young boy is on a wonderful swing, just swinging and holding on tight. Holding on tight, we just cannot leave, those handles. Are you swinging and just holding on tight in your business? Where are you right now? Or are you in control of that swing? Are you not just holding on, but you're actually in control and have a clear path, a clear vision of where you are taking your business? Let's see if any of you are brave enough to let me know where you sit in your business around planning. Flying by the seat of my pants, Tian Boshoff. You are honest, you're honest. Awesome, guys. Flying by the seat of your pants. Now, I honestly believe, having been in this business, this real estate environment for many, many years, is that the only way that our business can thrive and you can have extraordinary results and extraordinary success in real estate and really just elevate to the very highest level in your business is if you take ownership of your business and if you have a business owner mindset. That is so important. I think often individuals come into this business and they just don't have the right approach. They don't take ownership of the fact that they should take control. As any entrepreneur and any business owner would do, is with a high risk that you take to open and start a new business, you really got to be on top of it, won't you agree? And with that, it requires serious planning, serious strategy, goal setting, all those things to work towards. Ownership, taking ownership of your business, critically important. Business owner mindset. Where are you today in your mindset around your business? Do you see yourself as the CEO of You Incorporated? You have to have a strong business owner mindset. I think the great thing in our business is we work in partnership with franchise owners. So we run our business in partnership with other individuals, but in our on our table, we are running our business, our own business, in partnership with your office and in partnership with Harcourts as a franchisor, as a franchise company. And that's great because you have all these tools and resources, and that is what we're going to be looking today. So that, again, the objective is just to guide you in your approach to strategy, goal setting, and planning, and to see which resources do we have available that will assist you to conduct your business in the very, very best way possible. But guys, think about this. As you go away from this session, ask yourself, what is my mindset? If you are new to real estate, and this is a totally new environment for you, or you are very young and without much business experience, this might just be, something for you to get your head around. Because I want to tell you today that if you don't take ownership of your business and ownership of your activity, and you're going to look towards other people to make things happen for you, you are not going to be as successful in this business as you should and can be. But let's continue. So with the business owner mindset, there are a few things that we have to answer in our business. And I'm sure that you're all familiar with these three elements: the why, the how, and the what. Those are arguably three of the most important elements that you have to be able to answer in your business. Why are you doing what you're doing? And what is your purpose? Because that is the big thing that drives you every single day, that makes you get out of bed, that makes you excited, that pulls you forward. You don't need anyone to push you from behind. This is that thing that makes you hungry, that makes you come alive, the fire in your belly, right, Nee Alberts? You know what I'm talking about. So it is really, really that strong fire that burns inside of you. Then the other things that we want to ask ourselves is, so how do we do it? And what do we do? And those are some of the elements that we're just going to be looking at today. So as we consider the four areas on the right, they are four of the most important elements that make up the why, the how, and the what. We don't have time today to unpack this in incredible detail. I'm sure that we can probably spend a whole day on all of these elements. But first of all, you want to have a clear vision of where you want to take your business. If we consider the vision for Harcourts South Africa, and we are all guided by that vision, it is for Harcourts to be recognized as providing the finest experience in real estate, not only for our clients, but also for our fellow Harcourts team members and our industry partners. So it speaks about our vision of creating the finest experience in real estate. And if you consider in your business, what is it that you associate with? You can obviously latch onto that Harcourts vision, but if you want to make it a little bit more visual for yourself, you can create a vision board of what are the things that you really aspire to, that you want to work hard towards, and you can make it come alive through a vision board, but really important to write it down, to see it in front of you, and to remind yourself frequently or almost on a daily basis. Then, as we can see on the right, we have strategic focus areas that we should have in our business, and we're going to unpack them today. We should have clear goals, and there are many different goals in our real estate business, and we're going to have a look at them. And then it all comes down to plans and actions and behavior. We've got to have clear plans. We've got to be able to action them. Because let's say we just stop with focus areas and goals, but we don't action our plans and we don't have any plans, nothing is going to happen, right? It's like, yeah, I don't want to use an analogy, but it's like if they didn't have a plan to mine gold on the Witwatersrand in the late 1800s, the gold would still just be underground today. But there was a plan, there was a strategy, there was a clear goal. We got to get the gold from below the surface, and we got to get it, to the top. Yeah, and that is how we mine for the gold, and that is our business. Our business is mining for the gold, which is what the things that we're going to be talking about today. It's our farming areas, it's our clients. We want to mine for that and bring that to the surface and turn that into money and dollars and money in the bank. All right, guys, let's see. Okay, now, if we then look at our strategic focus areas and our goals and our plans and our actions, that all forms part of the structure that we have in our business. Would you agree? That all makes up structure. It creates structure. Can we think of any successful business or person where there's not good structure? Otherwise, we're going to be like that child on the swing, just flying by the seat of his pants. If there's no structure, it will just be every day, just seeing what's going to happen. Whatever comes my way, we'll just run with it. But you are not taking control, and we can't run a business like that. I'm sure that you'll agree. If we want to be successful and really, really capitalize on the incredible opportunities in real estate, we have to have structure. Now, structure is one of the three very important pillars in this, or let's call it success drivers or pillars that we have in what we call the performance matrix. So structure drives clarity. When we are clear on our strategic focus areas, we are clear on our goals, we are clear on our plans and our actions, we have clarity. We know where we want to take our business. And that also, I think a very, very important thing is it also gives us peace of mind, knowing that we are taking control, knowing that we are in control and I'm taking my business somewhere where I know I'll be able to earn enough to live a comfortable life. I know I should be able to live a quality lifestyle, because that is, I'm sure that's what we all aspire to. We all want to live a quality life. And that gives us clarity and peace of mind. And the other elements in this performance matrix is our mindset, having a positive mindset, taking ownership, as we said earlier, stopping the blaming and the complaining and the justification, and really, really being motivated, being positive, and taking the bull by the horns. And the third element in the success driver performance matrix is our skill set. And let's just for a moment consider the rugby team again. For that rugby team to win on the day, they have to have, each and every player has to have the right mindset, the right skill set, and the right structure. And then they stand the best chance to win on the day. So those are, I want to leave this with you guys. If ever you reflect on your real estate business, consider these three elements and ask yourself honestly, how am I doing on these three elements in my business? And really be honest with yourself and ask yourself, where should I do better? Where can I do better in my business? But today we are focusing on structure, driving clarity. So if we then focus on the strategic focus areas, these 6 elements I want to propose to you as arguably 6 of the most strategic focus areas in your real estate business. Around the 1 or 2 o'clock, around there, you will see prospecting and lead generation. Let's start there. That is an extremely important focus area, strategic focus area in your business, and we will unpack that now. Listing and servicing our mandates, bringing new listings into our business and servicing those mandates so that we can sell them successfully, and that is our income. That's obviously also a critically important strategic focus area. Working with our buyers and our tenants, another very important strategic focus area. Our personal promotion, how do we promote ourselves? Very, very important. How do we develop our skills development, and then sharpening the saw. Sharpening the saw is making sure that we look after ourselves. It is resting enough. It is being mentally well, because we cannot be successful in the stressful environment if we don't look after ourselves. And with that, we have to eat right, we have to exercise, we have to sleep enough, all those things so that we can be sharp. Otherwise, we will just be struggling and just be putting one foot in front of the other as we go along. So let's look at these different elements. First of all, what I would like to show you is when you start to plan your business and you want to write down your strategic focus areas, if you are looking for a resource where you can write down your strategic focus areas, I want to show you the following. When you go onto the Harcourts Hub, you all have login details onto the Harcourts Hub. You want to go an area called resources. From resources, you will go to the document library. From there, you will go to agent tools. From agent tools, you will go to planners and planning. And in planners and planning, you have a document, it's a Word document called Intentions and Closing the Gap. That's a document that you can open that will then give you a page where you can write down your strategies or your strategic focus areas. Now, when you open this document on the Harcourts Hub, you will see that it's a multiple page document. This is just one of the, I think there are 4 or 5 pages, but this is the page where you will then write down those identified strategies that you want to focus on in your business. And what are the tasks and the plans and the actions that you need to make sure that you execute on in each of those strategic focus areas. On the right-hand side, who could help me? Is there anyone in your business that can help you or that should help you in any of these areas? And then there are also due dates so that you can make sure that you hold yourself accountable and other people accountable when this needs to be executed. Now, remember, this page is, it's a one-pager that you see on the screen here. It might not have enough space for you to write all the things that you want to write. So this guides you to look at the type of resource that is necessary or that could be used to write down your strategies and your tasks, your plans, and your actions. I hope that that is clear for you, clear to you. Guys, and if you have any questions as we go along, please just pop it into the chat box or the chat window, and I will come back to your questions a little bit later, or I can also keep an eye on the chats. Right, so that is just one of the resources that you can have a look at. If we move on and we start to drill into our prospecting and lead generation a little bit more in detail, we have to say to each other from the outset that prospecting and lead generation is very important in your business. It is arguably the most important growth activity, and we will re-emphasize that as we go along. Just as a side note, again, we're going to say a few things about prospecting and lead generation, but why is it so critically important? It is because it brings stock onto our showroom floor. If we have no stock and we have nothing to show to buyers, we basically have no business. Our business cannot run if we have nothing to show, if we have no stock. It's very difficult to only run with buyers, because if we only run with buyers, we are always reliant on other agents' listings. He who controls the stock controls the market. I'm sure that you guys are all familiar with that. Let me repeat that. He or she who controls the stock controls the market. If you hold sole mandates in your marketplace, you are the agent that is in control of that listing, and buyers will come to you. They will come to you. And there's nothing more beautiful than to list and sell a property. You have the seller and you have the buyer, and it's a beautiful vanilla deal. So that is why prospecting and lead generation is so important to do every single day to get stock onto our showroom floor. But when we look at our business, we have to be strategic by looking at our farming area. And obviously the questions that we need to ask ourselves, whether we start out in real estate or whether we are an established agent in an area, is where is my area, obviously? How big is my area? And then in terms of my prospecting and my lead generation, how often do I prospect in my area? And with what do I prospect in my area? What is the plan? So when we talk about goal setting and strategy and planning, I'm sure that you'll agree, is that I look at my farming area, and like any farmer would do, is they would ask themselves, what am I going to do on this piece of land? What is the crop that I'm going to put in? How am I going to nurture this crop so that it gives me the very best crop in months to come? You know, so you invest, you invest, you invest. On the left of the screen, you will just see an example of an agent's farming area. And this agent pretty much blocked the farming area into 11 sections. And what this agent does is the agent focuses on each of those blocks or sections every week. So in week 1, the agent drops a pamphlet in block A, and then in week 2, the agent drops a pamphlet in block B and calls on the homeowners in block A. And so it just rolls. And every quarter, the agent has at least one pamphlet drop in that area and at least one phone call every 4 months to every one of those homeowners. And that is what we talk about strategy. Now, guys, these things obviously just don't fall out of the air. It just doesn't fall into our laps, right? If we don't make it happen, how do we farm our farming areas? You might be sitting in a beautiful farming area, fantastic properties, the competition is strong, but what is your game plan? You know, what are your strategies? What are you doing? How are you planning it over the next months, next weeks and months? What are your strategies and your plans? The opportunities out there are incredible. I mean, seriously, we're gonna agree on that people are selling and people are buying no matter where you are. We just have to be there to be of assistance to them when they need us, right? we want to be the agent of choice. But I mean, anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Let's move on to the next slide. Otherwise, I'm going to run out of time and I'm not going to get through all my slides. So in terms of our prospecting, there are various activities that we can engage in that are daily and weekly prospecting activities. We will network, we will focus on properties that are currently on the market, we will drive our social media, we will call and send WhatsApps into our farming area to our homeowners. We will work with referrals. We will do flyer and pamphlet drops. We will do advertising, all the different things that we do to drive our prospecting activities. So I'm not going to spend any time, this is not a prospecting session, but when you want to look at a resource that will help you identify what you want to do in each month, again, I'm going to take you to the Harcourts Hub. So when we go into prospecting and you're on the hub, what you want to do is you want to go to your documents. Again, you're going to go to resources, you're going to go to documents, your agent tools, and then to prospecting and lead generation activities. And there you have a few very handy resources, but the one that I would like to show you is this prospecting planner. But there are, like I said, a few others. But when we click on this prospecting planner, you will notice that the Harcourts Hub shows us what this document looks like. And if this is something that excites me that I want to use, then all you do is you click on download document right here. Download document, and in a few seconds, I'm going to be able to open that document. So you'll just find it in your downloaded folder. So you click on download document and Bob's your uncle. So here I have downloaded from the Harcourts Hub a Word document that gives me an annual prospecting planner. Now, guys, it's for you to decide if you want to plan your prospecting over a 12-month period or over the next 3 months or 4 months or 6 months or 1 month. Just do it. Just do something, just plan your prospecting. But the longer you plan, let's say you can plan for 6 months, what your plans are going to be in your client database, in your farming area, in your any kind of personal office marketing, you can identify activities over the next, say, 3 months, 4 months, and then you can start to put those things in place. If you need artwork designed, you can get the artwork designed. You know what I mean? So you've got to have a strategy looking ahead. And I just want to make a quick note before I forget to say it. One of the biggest challenges I think that we have as real estate professionals and business owners is because our business is so go, 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 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, right? That we often don't take time to step out of our business for 2, 3, 4 hours and work on our business and not working in our business all the time. Let me just repeat that. We are so operational, working in our business all the time, that we often don't take out the time to work on our business and work strategic and plan and see what do I want to do over the next 3, 4 months. So I really want to encourage you to schedule that time, put the time aside where you can really just get into a zone where you can focus and where you can get creative. We can only get creative if we give ourselves the space, headspace. Isn't that so? Okay, so that is the prospecting planner that I just wanted to show you. So we can close that. And I'm just going to come back to, let me just see, I have a banner here on my screen that I just want to move quickly. Let's just close that. Okay, so that's just a few other things around prospecting, but go and have a look at those prospecting resources. But we have to remember, guys, I want to remind you of this analogy that our business is in a big, big way like a funnel where our prospecting, lead generation, and personal promotion activities every day create opportunities for us. And we feed those activities into this funnel where we then capture clients or capture prospects. And we want to nurture those prospects through our funnel until we can really engage with them. They become clients that either sell through us or they rent through us. They might become landlords or they buy and rent through us. So, but the big thing that I really want to leave with you is that our prospecting our lead generation, and our personal promotion activities every day are again those most important growth activities that we do in our businesses to get to create opportunities for us, to bring the gold to the surface, to really work our farming area so that we can create business, create stock, create properties to sell, to rent. You know what I'm talking about. Because when we continue to do that, we will be able to list and sell, and that will provide us the income that we are after. Now, talking about income and talking about goals and prospect activity, I want to move to this diagram or this information that you see on the screen. And this is what we call the income and activity breakdown. And just very quickly, obviously, each of you, every one of us, we have to have income goals because, life is quite expensive, right? And we have bills to pay, and we have a life to live, and we have things that we want to do. So we have to have a clear idea of what is the bare minimum that we need to earn every month. What is that income goal? Let's just leave it at what is my income goal? And when we start to break that down to what do I need to do to achieve that income goal, we will see that we get to the sales goals that we need to achieve. So in other words, on this little example, and I'm going to show you where that is on the Harcourts Hub in a moment, is we need to sell 12 properties for this agent to achieve an income goal of 600,000 Rand for the year. And to sell 12 properties, this agent's mandate goals are 20 mandates. So already here I have my income goal, I have my sales goals, the number of sales, I should have called it number of sales goals. I have my number of mandates goal. And then I have, for me to list 20 mandates a year, this diagram shows us that I need one listing appointment per week if I have a 50% closing ratio. Now, guys, again, just because we have limited time, I cannot spend much time on this with you, but in your offices, if you're unfamiliar with this income to activity breakdown, your principal, your sales manager will be able to sit with you and work through this. But on the Harcourts Hub, there is a very self-explanatory document that really just explains to you step by step, what do you do in each of these steps? Because this is really where we want to place our focus, is our client meeting goal. Now, when we talk about our client meeting goal, let me go in here. Business planning. When we talk about business planning and we identify our strategy, we identify our goals. Remember, we've already spoken now about our income goal, our number of sales goals, a number of mandate goals, and number of client meeting goals. Those are goals that we're working towards. There is an example of a business plan on the Harcourts Hub. It's called BP 2023 with fierce intent. And this is also under resources, documents, the agent tools, planners and planning, and that is the name of the document. So when we open it, I'm just going to download that document for you real quick. You will see that it allows you to fill in some information. There's also a financial activity breakdown that we just discussed. And right under point 8, it says it's going to ask me then it's going to get me to that number of listing appointments per week for me to be able to achieve my income goal. And that is then really the important thing. What is my target number of listing appointments per week? And you can write that nice and big in that block, because that is then the focus. What will I do on a daily basis to make this happen? If I go into each and every week in my business and my focus is on securing one client meeting for this week, I need to roll over or turn over every stone, come hell or high water. I need to create. That is my focus. I don't get fixated about the income. I don't get fixated around anything but the number of that listing appointment or that meeting, client meeting that I need to secure, whether it is a listing presentation or just a evaluation presentation. All those meetings will lead me to listings. You guys know what I'm talking about. Right, so that's just the rest of that Word document. You can have a look at that. That is in the Harcourts Hub. If I just go back one step to planners and planning, spend some time, guys, on these documents that are on the Harcourts Hub in the planners and planning folder, you will see that there are many different, very, very handy and powerful planning tools that you can make part of your business. But let's move on to the next section that I would like to touch on. So what we've said already now is that the key focus, I really want you to think about this very carefully, is how are you placing your focus on the activities that you do every week around prospecting, lead generation, personal promotion, to create opportunities to meet with people, because that's what we're looking for, right? We are looking to create opportunities to meet with people. This document is called the Activity to Income Breakdown Calculator. If I just show you very, very quickly what I'm talking about in this document, this is again a lekker planning resource. This is an Excel spreadsheet. This allows you to just fill in some of the yellow cells, or actually all of the yellow cells in this document. Let me run you through this quickly. What is your target number of listing appointments per week? Let's say it's 1. I enter 1. Whoopsie, let me just enable this editing. I enter 1 in there. So I'm going to aim for 1 listing appointment per week. Let's just make it 2. Why not make it 2? Number of working weeks per year. How many weeks do you want to work a year? I only want to work 48 weeks per, because I want to take holiday for 4 weeks a year. Not necessarily all at once, but I need to rest, right? What is my realistic success ratio of listing appointments to actual listings? I know I'm going fast now, but just stay with me. We enter a percentage here. Success ratio of listing appointments to actual listings. Let's say I take 30% of the appointments that I have with homeowners to market. Then what is my percentage of my properties that I sell? For all the mandates that I have, what percentage of those mandates do I sell? Let's say I sell 70% of my listings. Cool. So the number of listings sold per year shows me would be about 20 properties. I would be selling about 20 properties a year. If I can secure 2 appointments per week and I work 48 weeks a year. Cool. So what is the average sales price of property in my area? Let's say it's around the 2.5 million rand bracket. So 2.5, and what is my average commission per sale? Let's just say it's around 4.75%. So if I can go along like that, I can actually generate a gross commission income of almost 2.4 million rand a year. And you will go and play with your numbers. You take this Excel spreadsheet and see for yourself, what would it mean if you can focus on your number of, we call it listing appointments, but let's call it client meetings or client engagements. Not all of them are going to be listing appointments. And just fill in your numbers here, maybe sit with your business owner, work it through. Prospecting is the most important growth activity in your business, because you can actually then see, what is my earning potential? I think, guys, we sometimes place a ceiling on what we think we can earn in this business. If we can focus on driving our activity hard, creating opportunities every day, the sky is the limit. The sky's the limit. We can really knock it out the park. We can hit it out the park. Okay, so I'm closing that and I'm taking you back to my presentation. But we have to remember that we are in a relationship business, right? This is what it's about. It's about building relationships. That is our focus. So we put ourselves out there every day. We speak with people, we speak to people, we network, we build relationships. We build relationships. So in that farming area, we want to be an area specialist. So another important thing that we need to do, and this is part of your strategy, your goal setting, your planning, is to really keep a close eye on properties that come onto the market in my farming area. Do you have something like this, where you keep a complete list of all properties that are listed in your farming area? Again, you will be able to find this on the Harcourts Hub. The document is right there. It is called a market tracker. It's an Excel spreadsheet. So it is under resources, in documents, agent tools, planners and planning, market tracker, properties listed and sold in my farming area. Download that document for yourself if you don't have it yet and see how it works. It's an Excel spreadsheet. You will have it open on your PC, and every time that you see a new property listed on P24 or whichever portal you use, you make an entry into that Excel spreadsheet and you just keep updating that document. And you will see after a while, after 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, you sit with incredible data of all the properties that have come onto the market. What were the listing prices initially? What have they sold for months later, or days later, or weeks later? And you start to make your calculations around listing to sales price ratios, number of days on the market, those critical key performance indicators that you'll be able to communicate with your seller, with your homeowner. So when you sit with them, you have the data, you have the information, you can speak with authority, you can show them that you are an area specialist. You might have information then that no other agents have, if you can have the discipline to keep that going. So remember, it's this document, it's to keep a list of properties for sale in your farming area, because you are an area specialist. That's important, very, very important. Great agents prospect even when they don't feel like doing it. They do it because they know that real success is simple disciplines done daily. As simple as that. So just remember, and I know we all know this, but for us to create top of mind awareness and to become the agent of choice in our farming area, we have to have multiple touch points throughout the year with our contacts, with our database, with our homeowners in our area. So here are just a few things that I put on the screen of different ways that we can have touch points with our contact, with people, telephone calls and visits, items of value, like a flyer or a pamphlet or something that you put in their postbox. You might have a client appreciation event, and that might require a few calls that you're going to make to those individuals, etc., etc. You can see on the screen the various different touch points. They say to create top of mind awareness, you want to touch the person between 8 and 12 times a year. So it requires consistency. It requires different ways for that person to see your name, to hear your voice. That way, you're going to create top of mind awareness, and you're going to become the agent of choice in your area. And guys, this requires planning, right? It requires strategy. It doesn't just happen. Again, if we are running our business like that person that's swinging and just holding on, we are not going to get anywhere in our business where we should get and where we can get. The sky's the limit, but we have to take control. We have to put in the discipline to plan. So the question is, what do you do? How do you do it? When do you do it? And who does it? So those are the questions that we need to ask. And again, it all comes down to strategy and planning. The critical importance of weekly time blocking, I just want to spend a minute or two on. Many of you will be familiar with this concept of time blocking. Many of you are doing it. I know for a fact that many of you on the call today do really good time blocking. But what it's about is creating structure in your week leading up to the next week or the week thereafter. But you should almost like have an ideal week, because again, you are in control of your time. I think so often, and sorry that I'm doing all the talking today, guys. I wish that I could ask you for your inputs or for your feedback, but I'm sure that you'll agree with me that sometimes we refrain from planning because we feel that it never kind of works out the way that we've planned. Our plans don't kind of materialize because things come in the way. There are client requests, there are things that just come our way that just almost wipe our plans off the table. So why bother planning? That's unfortunately not the right approach and the right attitude to have. Even if the plans don't work out the way that you intended them to work out, at least you have a roadmap. At least you have a guideline that can bring you back, that can refocus you. If you went off track, if you went into the woods off the path, there is a map through the woods that can bring you back and that can help you refocus again. If we don't kind of make time blocking part of our weeks, then we don't have structure in our weeks. So what it is, this is just, as you can see, an Outlook calendar example of an agent that uses different colors for different blocks of activity. And let's start with the blue ones. This is personal things that this person does: walking, gymming, spinning, look after family, look after their health, and just very quality leisure and family time. The red ones are non-negotiables. These are the activities and the blocks of time that this agent blocks out, where this agent has to be. Nothing can come in the way of these meetings, of these training engagements, etc. Then the green cells are very important prospecting and lead generation activity. Now, as you can see on the screen, this agent only scheduled for 4 days of the week, Monday to Thursday. This is just an example, but you will need to schedule enough time every single day to do all the necessary prospecting and lead generation activity that your business requires for you to get stock on the floor and for you to have a really, really healthy business. So you might have to schedule 2 hours a day, and that prospecting and lead generation time that you schedule in your diary, you have to protect with everything that you can. Even if there is like, okay, I'm going to say a terrible thing, but even if there's death in the family, you have to stick to your prospecting time. I know it's a terrible analogy, nothing else came to mind. But guys, this is the appointment that you have with yourself, your prospecting and lead generation that you put into your diary. Put it in a time that works for you, in your business. It might be like 9:30 till 11:30 in the morning, and just knock it out the park and do all the things that you need to do in that 2 hours or 3 hours in terms of prospecting lead generation. But let's move on to the yellow blocks. The yellow blocks is where we block time, where we work with our sellers and our landlords and our buyers and our tenants. And we just allow these blocks of time. And as we, so this time blocking, I would do at least the week before. Yeah. So let's say today is Tuesday. I will already have a very clear idea of what my week next week will look like. I know that your calendars already have appointments for next week, but block the time, put time blocks in there. And then as the appointments and as the specific engagements start to materialize, you just put them into the calendar. As you will see here, buyer, Meyer to view. So this person is already scheduled for 9:30 on this Tuesday. So that's a specific one. There's another one, seller evaluation at number 1, Bergie, Lelucia. But if we don't block time, we will always find that other people will control our time for us. And that we don't want. We can't afford that. We can't afford for other people to control our days. Then we are out of control. We have to do everything in our power to say to people, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, or Mr. or Mrs. Principal or fellow agent, I'm so sorry, I have an appointment at 8:30 on Tuesday. I cannot see you at 8:30, but can we make it for 9:30? Try to fit people into your program, into your schedule. If that is impossible to do, if that's not possible, then obviously you have to move your appointment with yourself because you have to accommodate that client or a colleague or whatever the case might be. You know what I mean, but I'm just trying to say, try your level best to let things fit in with your program. Time blocking is one of the chapters in a book called The One Thing, written by Gary Keller. It's a proven success recipe. It's proven. You don't have to believe me. All the very, very wealthy and successful business professionals and executives will tell you about time blocking. Let's move on, guys. We don't rise to our goals. We rise or fall to the level of our systems and habits. Systems, processes, and habits. Every action we take is a vote for the type of person we wish to become. Sure, those are big words by James Clear. We don't rise to our goals, we rise or fall to the level of our systems and habits. We are back to our 6 strategic focus areas, and let's for a moment spend some time on listing and servicing our mandates, because that is another critical important area in our business, and this requires strategizing. It requires setting specific goals on this and plan. Take time out to do the necessary things. How successful is your listing process? How happy are you with your listing process, and how can you improve on that? And when I call it the listing process, I'm talking about the 4-step listing process where we have our very first engagement with a potential client. let's talk about sellers. So when I engage with a seller for the very first time, what am I saying? What am I doing to really impress on them and show them that I am the agent of choice? Step number 2 would be my pre-listing documents, my pre-listing presentation. Step number 3 would be my complete listing presentation with my evaluations report. And step number 4 would be my post-list presentation. If you feel right now that you are not there in your business, then you need to go and sit, guys. And I'm not telling you what you have to do. I'm just making suggestions, if you'll allow me. But I get so passionate, is you need to take time out and think about your listing process and make improvements in your business. Plan and strategize around that. What are your listing presentations look like? Are they the very best that they can be? Or can they be improved? How often do you update them on market information? Do you update your listing presentations every 6 months? Is your personal biography updated in your listing presentation or your pre-list presentation? In other words, all the work that you need to do to keep your listing presentations the very best, the sharpest that they can be, because a listing presentation, a quality listing presentation, can mean 50 or 100,000 or R1 million for you. There are agents that earn R1 million commission on one transaction and more. We know that, right? I mean, you can earn multi-millions, but your presentation has to be world-class, and your listing material. So how can you improve? How can you plan and strategize on improving your listing presentations? Your marketing and advertising. How happy are you with your marketing and advertising? Where can that be improved? Your scripts and dialogue. What do you do to improve on your scripts and your dialogue? Everything that you say to your clients, how sharp are you with what you say? How much confidence does that give you, Your promise feedback, your Harcourts promise, service and feedback, your for sale boards, your banners, all those things. What are the areas of improvement around improving or elevating your level of listing and servicing your mandates? We can say a lot about that, guys, but I'm just going to leave it there. I'm just going into the Harcourts Hub again. There's a sales funnel. It's a document called the sales funnel. And I cannot believe that it's already 22 minutes past 11. So time flies when you're having fun. Let's see through how much more information we can get through. This is the sales funnel, and this is used by agents just to, you can almost call it stock take. They take stock of their mandates, they write down the mandate, what is the list price, what is the market value of the property, what is my seller's motivation out of 5, and what is my plan of action? What do I need to do to move this sold mandate, to get it sold? That's the important thing. So the plan of action here is critically important. We're taking stock of our mandates and we say, what do I need to do? Do I need to price counsel? Do I need to go and take new photos? Do I need to refresh my description on the property? What do I need to do? A new video maybe? Whatever I need to do to get this property sold. That is what we call the sales funnel. Discuss this with your principal in your office and make it part of your business. Very, very, very handy tool on the Harcourts Hub under planners and planning. I'm just closing that, and let's just go back here. The next area that I just want to focus on is working with our buyers and our tenants. When we work with our buyers and our tenants, there are also a few very important things that come to play. The service that we provide them. How geared are you to provide your buyers, or if you're a rental agent, your tenants, with the very, very best service, world-class service that they have not seen from any other agent in the marketplace? Our buyers and our tenants speak to many different agents. What are you doing? What am I doing today in my business to create the finest experience in real estate for my buyers and my tenants? We can only improve that area of our business if we take the time and we plan. We strategize and we plan. We set ourselves a goal to improve my working with my buyers and my tenants. And I think of what more can I do? What guides am I using in my business? Do I have my buyer's guide? Do I have my tenant guide? Am I giving this to my buyers and my tenants? And in the whole process, how am I creating more commitment and more buy-in from my buyers and my tenants? Again, my scripts and my dialogue. What am I saying to people? How am I upskilling myself on my scripts and my dialogue to have the very best conversation with my buyers and my tenants. And again, just generally speaking, our Harcourts promise, service, and our feedback. Guys, we're moving along swiftly. I have to almost start to wrap up. Personal promotion. Personal promotion, we know that there is so much that we can say around personal promotion, but it's a strategic focus area in your business. Which successful real estate agent doesn't focus on personal promotion and doesn't make personal promotion a critical strategic element in their business? But the questions are, what should I do? When do I do it? How do I do it? And who is responsible for all my personal promotion activity? Do I have people in my business that assist me? Maybe a social media specialist that can drive my social media. Maybe I have a person that does my pamphlet and flyer drops. All the things around personal promotion requires of us to go and sit and think, what do I want to do over the next 3 months? We are in August. What are my plans between now and the 31st of December of this year around personal promotion? I want to leave that as a challenge to you, is to go and think, what can you do in the next 4.5 months around your personal promotion? What are your strategies? What are your plans? Let me just leave it at that. Then around skills development, we all understand the critical importance of developing our skills, and we need to put time aside. That is why it's so important to put time into our diaries, to make time to go and upskill ourselves on digital marketing, on social media. Maybe again, if I come back to our scripts and our dialogues, just to upskill myself on my conversation that I have with my sellers or my buyers. How good are you on having a conversation with your seller around the benefits of a sole mandate? What do you say around the marketing service that your office can offer your sellers and or your landlords? So that skills development in terms of what comes out of my mouth, my dialogue that I have with my client, that is very, very important. And we have to diarize the time to make that happen. It's not going to happen by itself. And then the last, as we said earlier, sharpening the saw. Guys, we need to put time aside to look after ourselves, right? We need to stay healthy, mentally, physically. We cannot do this business if we are drained and we are overworked. I mean, like really, we're going to kill ourselves and we're not going to have any fun. We want to have fun in this business. We want to serve people. That is why we are in real estate. We love serving people, but we can only enjoy serving people if we take time away from our business. So whatever you need to do to look after yourself better, plan that. Put time in your diary. Put it into your weekly planning so that you can exercise a little bit more, eat healthier, sleep more. Oh, it's so important to sleep well. Just make sure that you take time out. And maybe every week, one weekend a month at least, just to break away from your business completely. Divert your phone to a colleague. Say, I'm away for the weekend. I'll be back on Sunday evening. And you pick it up again on Monday morning. Make sure that you take enough holiday so that you can really just switch off. I know that our phones are with us 24/7, but surely there must be an opportunity for you to divert your calls, put your email notification on. WhatsApp Business allows you to send out automated messages. So there are ways that we can definitely look after ourselves better and not be so available all the time. I know it's easier said than done. Remember, guys, you don't get results, oopsie daisy, you don't get results by focusing on results. You get results by focusing on the habits and behaviors that produce results. I know our time is up, but if you can just give me 2 more minutes, then we're going to be done. But this is quite profound, isn't it? You don't get results by focusing on results. You get results by focusing on the habits and behaviors that produce results. Just one of the last concepts that I want to leave with you is the difference between dollar productive and non-dollar productive activities. As we navigate ourselves through our days and our weeks and our months and the year, we can so easily spend time on non-dollar productive activities in the middle of the day where I have an opportunity to meet with a client, to be in negotiation with a client, to be working with sellers or buyers. Those are my highest level of dollar productive activity, or being on the phone, prospecting, generating leads. I cannot be sitting 11 o'clock in the morning and designing a little pamphlet or putting my listing presentation together. Those are things that either I ask someone to assist me in my business with, or I do it after hours. I designed that little pamphlet 6 o'clock this morning at a time where I cannot be contacting my clients, or I cannot be on the phone or out with clients. So in other words, there is so much on the internet around dollar productive activities, specifically on real estate. Go and have a look. I was very tempted to show that to you today, but it's just going to take up too much of our time. But please make sure that you do yourself a favor and be wise with your time and spend your dollar productive hours during the day on dollar productive activities. I'm just going to leave it there, guys. One of the last things that I want to say is we often confuse things that are urgent and important. On the diagram, that little dart is exactly where it should be. We want to focus on things that are urgent and that are important. But what feels urgent is seldom important. Something feels urgent, and I need to pay attention to it now, but it's seldom important. And what is important seldom feels urgent. And we so easily spend time on those things that just feel urgent, and they are not that important. And the important things fall by the wayside. The important things like prospecting and lead generation. Just make sure that you get that right. You know, that you put enough emphasis on focusing on the important activities and not just be guided by the urgent things. One of the last slides, prioritize your tasks. Do the most important tasks first on the day that it needs to be done. The second priority is to schedule important tasks, but that are not so urgent. It can be scheduled. The next level is delegate. What can you delegate in your business to someone else? That is not that urgent, but less important. Try to get delegated to someone else. And what's neither urgent nor important, don't do at all. So just think of every task that you think of every day and ask yourself these questions. From what do I do first to what don't I do? And I just literally scratch it off my calendar. Last slide, I want to just share with you guys. We're all familiar with the reality in business. Every single business goes up and down, goes through cycles. But we have the opportunity to make our roller coaster ride a little bit more fun. And for that roller coaster ride, not to have so many loops and not to get nauseous on the ride. We can even out our roller coaster ride if we take control and we strategize well, we set clear goals, and we plan and action all of that extremely well. And I want to encourage you to really make this a big focus area in your business going forward, is embrace strategy, embrace goal setting, embrace planning, make it part of your daily activity, and be the best that you can be, and have fun in the process. That is really what I want for you. And with that, we come to the end of our presentation. I'm sorry that we are 5 minutes over time, but thank you very much for listening in today, guys. Let me just go to the chat box.